diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and today I have with me Taron Mallard, who's a tight end at Bethune Cookman. How you doing, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm definitely hanging in there. So, can you maybe just describe to the viewers a little bit about your overall career?
My name's Taron Mallard. I'm from New Bern, North Carolina. Grew up here in Florida, in the Kissimmee area. My ninth grade year till now. I went to Poinciana High School. Graduated from Poinciana High School. Went JUCO. Did not play a down at JUCO. Ended up transferring to Bethune Cookman, and now I've been starting at Bethune Cookman for the last 3 years.
Cool. So you grew up in the shadows of Disney. Kind of interesting. So I was going to ask you, what do you believe are like some of the key attributes of an elite tight end, and maybe like who would you say are like some of the best tight ends in the league right now?
Attributes to being an elite tight end would be just being able to create that mismatch, being physical at the point of attack, being fast, being able to be versatile, line up outside, inside, line up in the wing, make that wham block, run the 5 and out, take the go ball. Some of my favorite tight ends would be Travis Kelce, Zach Ertz, Jordan Reed, Eric Ebron, just all guys that know how to work every position on the field. What a lot of people don't know is tight end is really anything you want it to be. Is some tight ends that play running back. Some guys line up out wide. Some guys line up in the slot. And then you have your natural hand in the dirt tight end. I mean, I feel like we can go anywhere, and we see all positions on the defense. We block the linemen, the linebackers, the safeties, the corners. It's really like a juggernaut position.
Right. So one of the guys that you mentioned there was Jordan Reed, who was a former quarterback like yourself. So I mean, I realized that you played some quarterback in high school, as well as you played some basketball too. So definitely an interesting history there for you. Like, how has that helped you kind of look at the field and translate some of those basketball skills to the field?
Basketball, what a lot of people don't know is your crossover, it relates to getting off the line, just using your feet, getting the defender to come this way so you can get your inside leverage, or getting the defender to go inside so you can run the out route, boxing out as if you was getting a rebound in the red zone, getting the position as if you was on the block. It worked. It goes hand in hand when it comes to receivers, and it works hand in hand.
Cool. So, what do you think is like the best thing that you bring to the table, like as an athlete, to the tight end position?
My size. All my life, coaches told me you can't teach size. I have something that you can't teach. Other than that, my IQ. I played quarterback. I recognize coverages. I can recognize blitzes coming, and just being able to sit in zones, sitting in the holes in the zones, and that's really all what I bring to the table.
And what's this off season been like for you? I mean, obviously, coronavirus has kind of done its number on everybody. Tell me if that's really played a factor in this off season for you, and really if there's any part of your game that you've been working on too. So off season, lay it on me.
Off season has been great with coronavirus. I've been able to get better. I've taken every day to get better and work on my craft. What a lot of people don't know is I played 2 years injured. Coronavirus I had got surgery in January. So since Corona, I've been able to rehab and therapy and get my body back to normal. And what I've been working on is route running. On film, all you see is pop passes or hitch routes, 5 and outs. I've been able to get a lot of that stuff. I've been able to get a lot of my routes down pat. Just working on it, getting better at it.
Cool. So you were talking there just a little bit about the film room. So why don't you go ahead and just break things down for me a little bit? I mean, again, like just looking at it from the perspective of a guy who, was a former quarterback, and maybe sometimes sits in that quarterback room. How are you breaking down your opponents?
I'm starting off from the front. If it's 4 down, 3 down, 5 down, and the two linebackers, man, most teams have went to the 4-2-5. It's a tight end's dream for our offense because the linebackers has run responsibilities and it's only 2 of them, so they see the fake and they're gone, and it lets you to creep right behind them or replace them when they're blitzing or read and run. When you're sitting back there at the wing, you're right there by the quarterback. You can see everything coming. It slows it down. It slows the game down for you. If it's 2 guys over top of the guy in the slot, somebody's coming. They're not just going to double team them. So you see that blitz coming. You can see the safeties rolling. I mean, it helps you. Watching film does nothing but help you. It slows the game down. You can see what the other team's doing. You can see the holes in their defense, where they're strong, where they're not as strong. Watching film is great.
Well, so talk to me about your game day. Like, do you have any sort of, weird game day rituals or anything, something you got to do to get yourself psyched up for a game?
Before we take off on the plane, I have to try to collect as many Reese's as possible in my snack bag. I try to get my Reese's, and before the game, that's what I eat. I eat my Reese's, and hopefully I can get to the Senior Bowl. I'm pretty sure they hand out a lot of Reese's there.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. So hopefully Jim Nagy finds his way to this video. He sees that you're willing to take as many Reese's as they'll dish out. So interesting too, because I mean, occasionally, like, I'll go up to Hershey, Pennsylvania, and they got like everything there with the amusement park and stuff. So I mean,
I've heard of that park.
Definitely something to check out. So, but no, talk me through maybe a memorable play or a moment, maybe a highlight that you're willing to share about your career right now.
Winning the first game last year, that was the first time our head coach has won the season opener. So just winning that for him, having a big game, 3-4 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown. And coming from behind, it was a great atmosphere. It set the tone for the season. We had a great season last year. We started off great. We fell short. And just looking too far ahead, I feel like we looked too far ahead. We had our South Carolina State before before our bye week. If we win that game, we go into the bye week undefeated in conference play. We looked too far ahead and we fell short, but that was still a great season.
Cool. Let's just take a second and talk about you, like off the football field. I mean, I realize that you recently graduated with a degree in criminal justice. What would that end up for you? I mean, I realize you're in a master's program right now, but what would ultimately that lead to, like once your football career is done?
Once football is done, I want to be a juvenile counselor and also a professor. Having my master's will set me up to be a professor at a college. I just want to help the youth. Growing up where I grew up and facing the situations that I faced growing up, I just want to help the kids that grew up in similar parts and went through the same thing I went through. So I just want to help kids and give them that way out and give them that hope, because you don't have to be a product of your environment. I'm a prime example.
Cool. And also president of FCA, there. So Fellowship of Christian Athletes. So certainly displays that, you're a leader as well as a really good guy. So, people really need to know that about you too. So, I was just going to take this time, in this interview to maybe just allow you to give some shout outs to you guys that have just kind of, maybe helped you along the way. Talk to me about your coaches and your mentors.
Mentors would be the two guys that was there my freshman year, um, Loomis and Demetrius Weaver. The guys just took me up under their wings. They're really the ones that got me into the education part. Before them, I was thinking, yeah, come in, do 3 years, and shoot your best shot for the league. But they've helped me realize that education will take you way more farther than football ever could. So to get my education, end up with 2 degrees, and just handle the education part to set you up in life. My coaches, Coach McCray, Coach Sims, every coach on the coaching staff, man, I appreciate them. And my family, they're who got me where I am today.
Awesome. So kind of along the same lines, you've had a lot of great teammates over the years. Talk to me maybe about a couple of those guys that have just impressed you.
All of my guys, really, but Jimmy Robinson, Akevius Williams, Marquise Hendricks, Devin James are guys that just impacted my life. They've showed me how to be a leader. Even when they thought I was the leader, I was looking at them and seeing how Jimmy Robinson, the best player on the field, anytime he stepped on the field, not just in practice, but if he played for the other team, he'll be the best player there too. I'm just seeing how he prepared. He's a guy that kept his helmet on the whole practice. The little things like doing exactly what coach say, wearing, the style has changed, but coach want us to wear high socks and stuff like that. So him wearing high socks when everybody else want to wear the no-show socks, or just him doing exactly what coach asked him to do, has really played an impact in my life. I'm like, wow, this guy that can really do whatever he wants to because he's the star, essentially, does nothing but what coach wants him to do.
Yeah, and he's a pretty fast dude and hard to catch on the field. So
yeah.
Definitely a guy that's just an exciting player to watch. Hey, I always ask this question. Give me your why. Talk to me about your motivation as a player.
My why and motivation would be the same thing it's always been. My biggest fear would be not being successful. So my why for football has been giving it my all because of what it can do for me. Even if I don't go to the league, football have set me up to get 2 degrees and to get a job later on in life using my education. So that's my why. That and my family.
Great. And give me your final pitch to a professional team. I mean, what sort of teammate would they be getting if they drafted or signed you?
Drafting me, you would get a guy that come in and to work, a guy that gets better every year, as I've shown through the past. Just going from 1 catch to 8 catches to 16 catches and making all conference. Just a guy that loves getting better, a teammate, a true teammate, willing to help any other teammate that I can, just being the best player that I can be.
Great. I mean, you kind of just have to agree with you. I mean, obviously, you're getting a good team leader as well as a good person, off the football field. Like, I don't got to worry about you getting into trouble, which is great. But yeah, I mean, a guy that's willing to learn. I mean, you've already learned a new position, being a former quarterback. I mean, you also have that IQ so that you do understand what's going on the field. So I think, teams really need to give you a shot. So again, this is Taron Mallard. He's a tight end out of Bethune Cookman. Thank you so much for your time, bud.
Thank you.